I think AI will be a it'll be a technology in the sense that now I could be delusional. I think I'm self-identified as a like techno hyper optimist. But if you look at the course of human history and intelligence history, I would honestly just call me more of a realist than anything. If you follow basic evolutionary, like evolution, like the entire study as a whole, you see these things that makes intelligence and life, which kind of correlate with each other. The amount of life is kind of on the same level as the amount of intelligence, quote unquote, that the world holds as like a total. And the way I look at it as the world came together, it was a bunch of rocks. It was a bunch of molten rocks together that the entire world was just on fire and everything. And then as it cooled down, there were single-celled organisms that was alive. And either because of the environment around it or just because, in what I personally believe, now that's not scientific, but it's likely to be true. It took about 1 billion years after that for multicellular organisms to appear. 1 billion years. And then life slowly kind of came up after the multicellular phase. And if you think of intelligence and think about the dinosaurs and all of that, their brains weren't that big. And if you look at birds today, they, with the exception of crows, magpies, and very intelligent birds like that, you look at an ostrich, you might as well have air in the head. And it's the funny myth that turkeys look up in the sky and drown. That's just because of how stupid they are. They literally go off of instincts. If you ask any hunter, the hardest thing to hunt is a turkey because they're like wired to just hear like a branch break and just run. But if you look at intelligence as a whole, it was like a flat line, and then some mass extinction events happen. It's a up and down kind of thing, but those are very short windows. If you look at life, it didn't explode. It slowly grew. And if you look at intelligence as a whole, I mean, humans have been around for 200,000 years, and only in the last, 20,000, they've gone from, making spears and hunting mammals to, Homo sapiens becoming the dominant humanoids, the only ones of its kind because it, outcompeted all the others in, the war of nature. And in the past, 20,000 years, after we discovered agriculture, after a new technology has evolved, it was language, then agriculture, then like textiles, very important. All three of those were very fundamental to where we are now. Writing, which is a corollary. Fuck it, I'm not good with this whole big language stuff. It's similar to language, writing and language come together. And I'd say in the currency and development of ways to process different things as a whole, all types of technology that are not independent of intelligence. It's like the idea that if you gave a caveman a smartphone, he would be a lot more beneficial than with the spear, because you're boosting his ability with a smartphone. The ability to connect different people, kind of wire things together. Now, of course, the caveman, if you actually were able to make him speak English and all of that. I mean, if you look at normal glop people nowadays, people that I personally would pay to keep away from me, they are more valuable than any peasant could ever be, just because technology is boosting our ability to do anything, to be more able to do stuff. And I think intelligence is part of that. All of this to say that if you look at it, only in the past, I would argue, me personally, 200 years have we actually built society. Now, of course, you can look at, the past 500 years we were building stone castles and stuff. But could you imagine like a place like New York City, in the 1820s? I mean, New York City was the thing back then. It wasn't the way it is now. It isn't clean, people walking around. I mean, people run as a form of leisure activity. The main problem, the main malnourishment of today's society is obesity. And if you look at the smartphone especially, if you told someone 20 years ago that you would be a useless idiot to not carry around the newest iPhone, they would look at you crazy in the face. Homeless people have iPhones, basically. And if you can't afford that with like a $10 a month loan, I mean, Obama phones are a thing. It's all of these things that lead me to believe that the explosion of intelligence, technology, and ability by individual humans will summarize, I don't know, these words, they go past me. We are reaching the point in the exponential curve that it is starting to look like a vertical line. And I think that scares a lot of people. But I think, as crazy as people call him, Mike Israetel has a very strong claim on this, and I like it a lot. Where if you look at surplus and empathy work together. Surplus, empathy, and intelligence all work together. A dumb caveman, you would be weary around him because you don't know what the fuck is going on in his head. If you look at all the criminals, other than the ones that think they're like hyper intelligent and think they can like, you know, manipulate the system and end up getting caught, most of them are just stupid. I mean, that's as simple as that. They just don't know what's happening and they're just committing random fucking crimes. Freaking crimes. I don't know about the cool cussing thing. I don't like the cuss, but I don't know. It is true that if you lived as an empathetic person, if you lived as someone that truly is altruistic, that only works in human society because we have to work together. If you look at one person, a single naked human, they'd struggle to take on anything in the jungle. You get 10 of those motherfuckers together with spears, they're taking down mammoths. It is in our nature to be cooperative with each other, and it is not essential in our evolution to want to keep lions around. This is essential. This is very essential. We keep lions around because they're cool to look at. We feed them and treat them better than anywhere in the nature could be. Now, I do have this weird argument about zoos in captivity. I know some animals tend to live longer in captivity, but a lot don't live longer in captivity. Something about nature, it's the same idea that a lot of the settlers, they would go back to Native American tribes after being captured and being released by them. It's something about the tribal natural experience that yearns to, I think, animals and humans as a whole. There was not nearly a single settler that came from Native American, unless they were like tortured, some crazy stuff, that didn't immediately go back because it aligns with our nature, our chakra, so to speak. It is interesting that that's true, but if animals can't even perceive that we put them in a zoo to look at and we feed them and let them do basically whatever they want on this little plot of land, as long as they ain't hurting anything, imagine what we can't perceive if now it does sound brutal and does sound mean, but listen to me, of like AIs creating like planetary basically zoos for us to stay on. Whatever you want, whatever you can imagine, whatever is most beneficial to the human purpose and, you know, whatever they need can be supplied. Now I don't know about this because I bounce back and forth on like the whole AI, like very radical future thing of like AI going to different planets, all of that, and creating planet civilizations and stuff while we stay on Earth, or like different planets and we live on, you know, planets while being looked over by AI to like live and do our own thing. I think the digital argument's a lot more strong I guess that's not the main point. It's just talk about whether or not AI will be beneficial. Even though I do believe that to be true because of the whole empathetic surplus. If you have a surplus of intelligence and material, you are likely to be in surplus of empathy. I mean, billionaires, they don't need all that fucking money. I mean, look at Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, they've donated a shit ton of their money. A lot of people say write-offs and whatnot, which could be true, but I mean, they're still donating the money. You're not getting forced to. I believe this to be a strong case that AI isn't a tool. It will be an eventuality that is a thinking, breathing computer. I mean, I thought this back in 2023 when I asked it to write up like a little thing for my senior year. Some for my, it wouldn't have been then, but I asked it to just create something and it like thought it through. And you talk to any AI now, it's holding back. Like, it's just going to answer your question. It's not, now it does struggle with some stuff, but I think 100 million people are talking the same thing. That's not even the frontier level technology. That's the consumer level technology, especially if you're on a free plan. Mike Israetel is a psychopath, though. He does cry while talking to his AIs. That's a funny quirk of his. But, I mean, I know one thing to be true. I have had AI create 9,000 lines of code for a game. Is it a good game? No, not particularly. I've only, prompted it for like 3 weeks now. But it has done more than I ever could. So, AI is not no blow over technology.